Hello, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to this webinar on behalf of the TEFL org. My name is Carl. I'm a tutor here at the TEFL org. I am responsible for the courses that run here in Northern Ireland, where I work as an online teacher, I work as an online examiner, and I also work as a face-to-face teacher and examiner as well. I've been lucky enough to have taught English as a foreign language for about 20 years in many places around the world. And this is a live webinar that we host every week where we answer a range of questions on the field of teaching English as a foreign language. So if this is the kind of thing you're interested in and you're watching it, please let us know where you are in the world, because we like to know where everyone is. I can see there's someone in from Saudi, Craig, Margaret's in, hi, from Pretoria in South Africa. Raminder's in London, hello again. Yeah, lots of people saying hello. Now, as I said, this is a live webinar we do it on a range of different topics. Today's topic is about using AI to help you in your job searching. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how it might be able to help you with interviews, with CVs, with cover letters, that kind of thing. I'm going to do this presentation, which is going to come up here. And it's live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on LinkedIn. So if you write any questions at all to me, and I will answer them. And if I can't answer them, then Alan, who is monitoring the chat, will be able to get the answer in more quickly. Right, so using AI to power up your TEFL job search. Let's get going. So first of all, why use AI for TEFL jobs, for getting TEFL jobs? And I think probably the main reason is that there can be a lot of competition for some jobs. So we do here at the TEFL org here sort of the same destinations that come up from people that want to travel the world. Dubai being one of those. And if you are going for a job where lots of people are also going for it, you know, if you're new to TEFL, you might not have the flash CV with lots of experience in that you might have against other people. So I think, first of all, using AI is, I think, a legitimate way to help you stand out a little bit and to help you against the competition for some of the jobs. And schools do expect professional applications. I have done recruiting for jobs when I was centre managers in places around the world, and or a senior teacher, and you do get people applying for jobs and their application is not very professional. You know, it could be like a 1/3 of an A4 page CV, could be a copy and pasted generic cover letter, might not even have a cover letter. And it's pretty obvious that if they're not putting much effort into applying for the job, they're probably not going to put much effort into teaching the job. So AI can also save you time and it can improve your application quality. So applying for jobs can take time. Nowadays, I think a lot of jobs expect you to do something different from other jobs in terms of applying. And if you've got limited time, you might already have another job. Using the AI tools, which I'm going to talk about the different ones, can definitely get you to apply for more jobs more quickly. Also, if you are new to TEFL or even if you're sort of new to jobs as a whole, using the AI tools can help to improve your application quality, the quality of your application. And of course, you can sort of get ahead of other candidates. There are people using AI. There are lots of teachers using AI. There's Facebook groups, there's LinkedIn groups where the people talk about using AI for TEFL jobs. For teaching English as a foreign language in general, but I'm not sure everybody's really using it for applying for jobs. So it can help you to get ahead of other candidates. And I think it's really important and a good skill to use if you're applying for your first jobs. So if you've got your 120-hour certificate, you feel like you're ready to teach a good bit of grammar, but maybe you just need a bit of help with actually getting that first job, I think AI can really, really help with this. Still people saying hello, which is lovely. Hi, Twink. Great name. Hi, David. Hi, Mansitsa in Lesotho, Southern Africa. I went there many years ago. Elizabeth is in as well. Hi, Elizabeth. Always good to see you in Canada. Right. So what can AI do for you? So it can polish or it can write your CV. So I've played around with it, and I have a CV that I'm quite happy with, but I did run my CV through Google Gemini, I think I did, and it gave me some tips. It told me how it could make it a bit better, what the things I could improve. I also said to it, I don't have a CV. Can you write a CV for me? And yes, it said it could. Now, it took a bit longer, had to still give it quite a few details, but it can definitely write your CV. And I think it was especially quite good with dividing it into headings and this kind of thing. It can also help you with cover letters. Going to talk a bit about how you can best use it. Um, one of the things when I was dealing with applications is that people very often sent in just a generic cover letter that was pretty obvious that they'd sent to lots of other schools. Um, and if someone did send through a tailored cover letter that was specific to the job I was offering, that did make them stand out. And I do think so I do think AI can help me with that. Can also generate lesson plans. Now, why is this important for jobs? Sometimes when you apply for jobs, the company will ask you to send in a lesson plan, or they'll say to you, right, create a lesson plan, and in the interview, talk through the lesson plan. And this can take a bit of time. So I think it can help you to generate lesson plans, especially if they've given you quite a specific niche that they want you to write the lesson plan for. It can also give you practice interview questions. If you've never had a TEFL interview before, you might not know what the best questions are to ask. And you can also help you to check your answers as well. It's also good for research in schools and locations. So if you're going to apply for a job, let's say in Thailand, a question you might get asked is, what do you know about Thai students? And you might not really have an idea, but if you put into ChatGPT, tell me what problems Thai speakers have when speaking English, that kind of thing, give you a bit of advice. It can give you a bit of advice that can help you with the interview. Also with schools, what do you know about our schools? Now, this works slightly not as well as like talking about locations, but you might be able to say, can you put into ChatGPT, what do you know about this school? Tell me about it. It can do that kind of thing as well. Right. So, what tools should you use? So, my two favorite, and if you disagree with this and you think you've got a better one, please do put it in the chat. I like ChatGPT. I also quite like Google Gemini. I find Google Gemini is quite a good one to work with. And I think that these probably you can do most things with these. Um, you can use Grammarly for language polishing to, if you feel like you just sort of need a help to check the conciseness of your application you've written one yourself, or you've got Google Gemini to write it and you want another check on that, you can use something like Grammarly. Kind of annoys me a little bit Grammarly sometimes, but definitely something that could be do. Uh, you can use alongside ChatGPT or Google Gemini, you get them to write your CV, but then you could use something like Canva, which is a website to make your CV a bit more visual. They've got like templates for CVs, that kind of thing. There's also a few different AI tools in there, which could help you lay it out, make it look a little better. There are AI tools embedded within job sites, such as LinkedIn has some, Indeed also has some. And what they do is you can sort of say to them, "This is my CV. What jobs do you have that I could apply for?" That kind of thing. I've not personally used that. If you have used that, please do put it in the chat. So let's talk first about crafting a CV. Uh, so Y what what I would get help with from, Gemini or ChatGPT is to get them to write you a CV with specific keywords. So, where do you get these keywords? First of all, you can get them from the job description. You can also get some of these keywords from, your 120-hour TEFL course. And what I would sort of say to ChatGPT is, I have 5 years experience or, in these countries with these levels. Please write a CV and make sure you put in terms such as levels, proficiency, the skills, reading, writing, listening, all that kind of thing, and see what it comes up with. So specific TEFL words. And that also helps because some companies, if they're getting lots of applications in, they might screen your CV using an AI tool to four specific keywords that matches their job description. Now, it might take you a few different goes to get one that you like. The way you ask the question can sometimes make a difference in somewhere like ChatGPT, but it can definitely help you. Um, you can also write a CV that matches the job description. So you could put in um, the you could put in the job description into ChatGPT, and you can say to it, "Here is my CV. Please write a CV. This is my original CV. Please write a CV that matches this job description." You could do that and see if that works. Yeah. You can ask to critique your current CV. So you can say to it, "This is my CV. How would you improve my CV?" You can also, but what I would say is don't be generic with your commands for this. So don't just say, "Write me a CV." Say, "Write me a TEFL CV for teaching children aged between 5 and 8 in China," whatever it might be. Don't be so generic. The more detail you can give it, the more information you give it about yourself. Now, if you've got no job experience, I've done webinars where I talk a bit about that. Um, you can you can uh, say, "Look, this is my experience at school. This is my experience in jobs. How do you think this could work in a CV?" That kind of thing. And also try and get it to include measurable outcomes. So say things like, "I improved this," "I helped students do this," or "I learned this specifically." The more sort of verbs you can get in there, action verbs, I think the better it would look in your CV. It gives it just a bit more sort of oomph and a bit more detail than just sort of, "I taught English," for example. You can also tell it to change the tone. Now, for CV, it's probably got to be a little bit formal, but they've also got to be quite concise, that kind of thing. It can really, really help you with that kind of application. Please do get any questions you've got coming in. Looking forward to answering. Right, writing cover letters. So quite often a job will say to you, "Send a CV, but also send a cover letter why you want the specific job." Uh, what I would do is paste in the job description almost as much as you can. It can pretty easily decipher the main bits out of it, ChatGPT. But paste in the job description and then paste in your CV. We'll say something like, "This is my CV," and then say, "Write a cover letter for this TEFL job using my experience." Um, and you might find that it's too long, but you might find it's too short. You might need to adapt it, that kind of thing. But I think you would get quite a good idea of what you need to do from that. So I think that works really, really well. It's also pretty good if you've got lots of different companies you want to apply for, and if you have to do a different cover letter for each one. This can really, really help you to be more specific with the jobs that you are going for. Um, Obviously, make sure you edit and check it. You might find that I found that when I've done this, I found like the cover letter sounded quite confident, quite sort of, "Yeah, look at me, I'm fantastic, I'm brilliant." And I didn't personally like that so much. However, I feel that's something that I could do a bit more myself, try and sell myself, my experience, my qualifications. Um, I have then edited them and that kind of thing. But you definitely do need to check it and you do need to edit it. And also tell it to change the tone. If you want it to be slightly more serious or you want it to be slightly more relaxed, it can do that for you. However, I don't think that that works as well as a human. Changing the tone tends to be quite good, I've found, for making things more formal, but not for making things less formal. Right, preparing for interviews. How can it help you with this? So it can simulate mock interview questions. So you could, put into ChatGPT, um, ask me 5 typical TEFL questions I would be asked for jobs in China, and it will give you 5 different ones. And you can plan these, and probably you're not going to get asked that specific question in the interview, but if you do, happy days. But just by planning for those questions, you'll probably be able to adapt those answers to a question that you're asked for the interview. Different practice question types. So there might be sort of generic questions where it asks you a little bit about your history, your work history, or what you learned on your course. But you might be okay with those types of questions, but you might struggle to say questions where you have to talk about specific skills, that kind of thing. And different types of question types can really help you there. Specific country or school questions, like as I said about before, what do you know about Chinese students? How would you get Chinese students to speak more? These are quite specific country questions. Um, School questions, for example, it could be we teach a lot of Cambridge English classes here. What do you know about the Cambridge English test? Or we have a lot of we have a range of levels here. What do you know about teaching this level or that level? Or it could be something like we work evenings. Are you okay with working evenings? How would you lift the motivation of adults that learn in the evenings? This kind of thing. You've done your research and then you put that into ChatGPT and it can ask you some specific questions about it. So you can type your answers in and then get feedback on them. I have heard but not seen that you can speak into the microphone on ChatGPT or then grade your answer for spoken English. I've not used that myself. If you have used that, please do put it in the chat. But it can give you some feedback on you need to put more actions in. You were too generic. You didn't give an example, that kind of thing. You can also get suggestions on model answers. So you could say to it, what would be a model answer for this one? And if you can, let's go down that China route again. If you've said that you're going to get an interview question such as how would you get Chinese students to speak more? If you said, okay, can you give me a model answer for that one? It will give you a model answer. Obviously, you've got to be a bit careful. You do not want to regurgitate a model answer, especially if it doesn't fit your own experience. But it's sort of thing that you can. Interview lesson plan. So if you get asked to if you get asked to discuss a lesson plan, you be prepared, or explain the stages of a lesson plan. Prepare, and a lot of this is prepared well. You can prepared before the exam, and you're prepared before the interview, and you're told about it before the interview. This can sort of help you with that. And AI can help you to write that lesson plan. So if it says, so for example, I applied for a job about a year ago, 2 years ago, I remember, and it said I had to do a lesson plan on pronouns, how to teach. I think it was even like more specific object pronouns. I didn't use the AI then, but if I wanted to, I could have said, "Can you can you create me a 1 hour lesson plan on how to use object pronouns?" That kind of thing. And then you can ask it to explain each of the stages, how the stages link together. You can ask it to explain the activities and what you would do, and then that way you can then explain it to the interviewer. So I think this is, something that's quite daunting, especially for people that are new to teaching, or if you've never taught like a specific level and you've got to create a level lesson plan for that. I think the AI tools can help. I see all the hellos coming in. Really great to see them. Please, any questions you have about this or any experience you have about using AI tools at all, not just about just about jobs, please do put it in the chat. Right. Information on the schools and students. So schools very often ask the interviewee what they know about a group of students. So what do you know? Here we have lots of Chinese children aged around 8. What do you know about teaching Chinese students aged at that age? You can put it into ChatGPT. What can you tell me about Chinese primary school students? Something like that. Give you some. Okay. Now, what can you tell me about how they learn English? Give you some information about that. And you can ask AI, I think, to report on the 4 main skills. So speaking is usually focused on in the interview, but not always. They could ask you about reading skills, listening or writing as well, especially if you're going to be teaching exam classes. So you can ask it to about what problems do Spanish students have with writing in English? It will tell you that kind of. And then you can ask it to give you some example activities to help that particular group. So you can sort of ask it, so how would you improve those Spanish students? Can you give me some ideas to get Chinese students talking? That will give you some lovely ideas. And again, you can then say those in the interview. So this is my last slide. What are some of the common pitfalls, though, that you need to be a bit aware of? Asking it generic questions can be a bit of an issue. you ask it almost a boring question, it will give you a boring answer. Detail, detail, detail helps. The more detail you can give it, the better the answer that you will get from it, okay? Not giving it enough information kind of just links to what I just said, but if you just give it, "This is my CV," and you just give it like a paragraph where, "This is what I want you to make a CV out of," and you just give it a bit of a paragraph, it's gonna make you quite a boring CV. Just give it some bullet points and see what it comes up with. The more information you can give it, the better the output will be. Also, don't trust all the output. It does make mistakes. The tone can be wrong. Uh, it might sort of not read everything that you want to put in there. There might be some bits that you put in that it doesn't include and you think is important. So do check it and maybe get someone else to check it as well. Not editing it for things like the odd grammar mistake, not editing it for tone. That can be a bit of an issue. So don't trust it. Make sure you do edit it a bit. And not personalizing it, I think, as well. If you are new to teaching English as a foreign language, you don't have much um, experience, maybe even much knowledge about the different types of jobs. And I think, you're getting ChatGPT to sort of lie on your behalf a little bit. I think that's not particularly great. Personalize it to show that you own it. I don't know everything about this, but I'm willing to learn, or I'm trying to learn at the moment, or I'm doing this. Personalize it, make it sound that you're that you are you and you know who you are. I think can really, really help. Right. Thank you very much. Let me just close this window. Right. Okay. Let's see all the hellos are still there. Hi, Gyro. Nice. I don't know if you've ever met a Gyro. Jairo. I said that right. Mansisa, hello. Elizabeth Pizza, hello to this. Um, Andrea Miango. Wow. From Madagascar. I don't think I've ever met an Andrea Miango, if I've said that right at all. Right, first question coming in there. Hello, from Mike. Mike wants to know if it's worth using for people that have been teaching English as a foreign language for a while. Uh, right, so that's a good question. I do think that AI tools can help you the most with um, people that are new to teaching English as a foreign language, and I think it can cause. I think for people that don't know how to create a CV, don't know how to apply for jobs, I think it's really good for that sort of thing. For people who have been teaching quite a while, I think that they can definitely link their own experience better to job applications. You should have a bit of an idea, but I do think if you are sort of moving to a new job or you're moving to a new location, it can really, really help you with that to sort of talk to you a bit about the different students. It can help you talk about the different classes, the different levels that you might be teaching. I think that's somewhere where it could really, really help. Hello from the United States, boo. Someone's not even put their name to that. Oh, like people from the United States. Some of my best friends in the world are from the United States. I don't think boo to the United States. I think there's people you want to boo all over the world, not just people in the United States. Thanks for that question, Mike. Question there from Tom. How much should I trust the output you get? Right, that's interesting. So, okay, obviously, ChatGPT, Google, Gemini, that kind of thing, they get information from other websites. And, there's lots of talk about whether they should be allowed to do that and that kind of thing. But they do at the moment. And sometimes you can see the sources of where they've got this information and you can click on the source and go through. Obviously, if somebody writes a blog page about interview questions for EFL and that is used quite a lot, and we don't know whether that is a good uh, website or not. It can be an issue if ChatGPT is getting everything from a website that was maybe written, say, 10 years ago, or maybe they've got the wrong type of questions on there. So I do think it's worthwhile checking between different applications. So why not use Google Gemini and ask the same question as you would ask ChatGPT and see if it comes up with similar answers? I think it's using a range of different different tools can really, really help there. Also, I've done webinars where I talk about typical interview questions. You can link it well with that to see if that sort of works well. I'm sure there are other YouTube videos where people talk about different interview questions that you could be asked. David, yeah, so many workplaces are using AI to write letters and emails now. Learned that you definitely have to check through before sending that. Yeah, very, very true. You definitely do need to do that. Um, just um, just blindly reading them and blindly just using them, I think, is definitely going to cause issues. At the end of the day, we're English teachers, so we should have a nice level of English, I would have thought. Mansitsa, hello. What are the chances of AI getting similar prompts and probably giving the same outcome? Well, that's the thing. If there's not that many websites which talk about interview questions, Gemini will use the same ones as ChatGPT. They will have a similar outcome. But I think, use your common sense. If it's a question that looks right, that's okay. Also, be a bit more specific, the type of job description that you're going for. Ask it, what questions do you think I would be asked about this job description? I think that one could work really, really well. Just be a bit wary of it all. Do your research. Don't trust everything that it gives you, and don't only use it as one source. Look on YouTube. What can you find? Do your own sort of old-fashioned Google search. Do you remember those? And see if you can find some websites yourself that it might not have picked up on. Yeah. Andrea Miango. Hi. How do you ask AI to give you trust in? I think you can do that. You can ask it specifically. So I think you could say you can put into GPT something like, "Great, I like those answers. Please run it again, but use different sources." See if it comes up with that kind of thing. Um, obviously, there's different sort of trust. There's sort of different reasons to trust things. So, trusting people who give you news or who can be different from people that will give you different types of CV tips. Are people going to have something bad in mind when they do a website about how to do CV tips? Probably not. But if you go through it, you've just got to sort of check whether you think that it's written well. Was it written quickly? Do they go into lots of detail, or was it just sort of something that they've written up in about 5 minutes? Go through, click on some links and see it. Yeah. And then, as I said, combine looking at that one website with looking at YouTube videos, that kind of thing. Peter, hi. Does TEFL offer a more in-depth lesson planning module? Something saps your confidence. Okay, so if you did, I saw you wrote something on earlier about our course, Peter. If you did do our 168-hour course with us at TEFL.org, please do get in touch with us. We don't just wipe our hands of our graduates once we've given them their certificate. If you're still having some issues, do send us a message either through our website, TEFL.org, scroll to the bottom of the chat with us, contact us function, or you can send us a message through Facebook, that kind of thing. If you've got any specific commands, even like quote me, Carl, they'll pass on the message to me. I can help you out with that sort of thing, Peter. Now, we do have lots of different modules. Now, what I would say is, if you've done the 168-hour, which is quite a good one, what you probably then want to look for is modules in whatever type of teaching English you're going to go into. So if you're going to go into business English, for example, if you do the module on how to teach business English, then they'll talk about lesson plans for business English. I don't think we have sort of a specific module just on lesson planning. It's more sort of a module about young learners, a module about exam English, a module about business English, that kind of thing. If you go and look at those and see if that's the sort of thing you like. What I would say is that ChatGPT really help you with this, or Google Gemini. So if you think you're going to go teach kids and that's who you want to go teach, Peter, then why not say to ChatGPT, can you create me a typical lesson to improve 13-year-olds' reading skills in Spain, in Brazil, in India, in China, wherever it is you want to go teach, or whoever it is you're going to teach. And ask it, say, can you explain all the stages? I think that, and then just read the lesson plan. Light reading. Next time you're in bed, download a load of lesson plans and look. Get get an AI tool to create some lesson plans for you. Get them to create the rationale alongside, and then read them. See if that works. And you see, there's not, they're not some sort of strange material that are like written in some other language. You'll find that actually it's quite quite a useful thing that can be done relatively easily once you've done it a few times. So I would try that. Contact us if you did your qualification through us here at tefl.org. Contact us. I'm willing to help you a bit. Or if not, um, use the AI tools. Like if you've written a lesson plan, say, look, this is my lesson plan. How can I improve it? See if that kind of thing helps you. A few people saying thank you. Not a problem at all. That's what we're here for. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in today. I hope you did find it useful. If you do have any other questions, please do put them in the chat. Even if you're not watching this live, we go back and we read them all. As I said, you can contact us on tefl.org through our website. There's lots of information on that as well. You can also contact us through our social media channels. Please put them in the questions in the comment. We also have a Facebook group, which is pretty good for chatting with. If you go to Facebook and you type in TEFL.org, you'll see that there's our main business page, but there's also a private group where you can ask questions in that as well. Lots of people talking about that. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. It's been great to be with you for the last 35 minutes or so. Have a nice morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. All the best. Cheers.